We have known for a long time that everything is very difficult at Lucasfilm. After the departure of George Lucas, Disney has never been able to establish a well-coordinated work in its division. And the main thing is to do it so that the audience is satisfied. Eventually, the last 3 parts of the Skywalker saga caused just a colossal amount of controversy and disagreement. Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy for many has become the real villain who killed Star Wars. And after the release of Episode 9, the future of this universe turned out to be more vague than ever. Well, I think it will be interesting for you to know that in addition to all the other difficulties and problems, Lucasfilm is also being torn apart by a real civil war, which is still flaring up more and more every day. Hey everyone, this is FatRussianCat out there. Yes, most likely everyone who is even slightly interested in Star Wars knows that after the departure of George Lucas, things in his company didn't go smoothly. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy was unable to find common ground not only with millions of fans, but also with the leadership of Disney. So, for example, long-term president of the House of Mouse, Bob Iger, didn't even mention Kennedy in his memoirs. But that, of course, was Kathleen's least problem. After all, apart from everything else, her strategy for the development of the Star Wars universe has been largely a failure, and according to rumors, George Lucas himself hates the boss of his former company, eagerly wanting her to leave. In short, things have been heating up at Lucasfilm over the years, and now, after the completion of the Skywalker saga, they have apparently reached its climax. At the very least, insiders are reporting a real civil war inside the company that threatens the entire Star Wars universe. Let's listen. In reality, behind the doors of Lucasfilm is a fractured studio of 3 ideological divisions. There are the old-timers who remember the days of George Lucas. There are the apolitical, non-ideological artisans. For those, most have kept their heads down and trying to keep themselves from being fired or disparaged by the Kathleen Kennedy crew. The KK crew, on the other hand, are the highest since 2012. The ones who had the keys to the sequel trilogy, but now have been relegated to comic book releases and young adult novels. The third group is the Favreau-Filoni bunch. This new group is comprised of Favreau loyalists brought in and generally work outside the confines of Lucasfilm proper. They get to bypass Kennedy and the KK crew, and their budgets come straight from the top of Disney. A rare move was made to give Favreau complete power over The Mandalorian. Kennedy could only provide him with notes, she could not dictate anything about the series. While Kennedy became embittered over the success of the one Star Wars property she had no control over, her story group had essentially been gutted. Kennedy continued to work on more series within Star Wars, but she would have no theatrical releases, and Favreau had complete control over whatever he wanted to do with the brand. Well, as you can see, the situation is very serious. And besides the obvious creative problems, Lucasfilm is also torn apart by internecine strife. At the same time, we were also given to understand that Kathleen Kennedy shouldn't be completely written off, and that now the Lucasfilm boss is actively trying to regain her influence, primarily with new projects, the involvement of Patty Jenkins, and so on. But with all this, one thing can be said for sure now. As long as Lucasfilm representatives share power and influence instead of creating cool content worthy of the name of the studio's founder, nothing good can be expected for us as viewers. And this is unfortunate, because things in the Star Wars universe are not going well anyway. Okay, let's see how it all ends there.